Over the last few episodes, I've been on a mission, and that mission is to get you to grow your own edibles at home. You know what? There are so many amazing edible plants you can grow, particularly herbs, and now's the time to get into your local garden centre. You start off with finding the best pot, and the choices these days are amazing. And then, well, you create something stylish that's also functional, delivers the best, healthiest produce that's good for you. This is the best time of the year to grow edible plants in pots, and it's almost impossible to fail. But there are some tricks that you should be conscious of. The first being pot selection. The pot is best sealed. If it's open and porous clay, it will get grubby and heavy. So using these stylish new pots is just clever and classy. Now, the trick with these pots is, well, making sure that you've got the right pot for the right purpose, and it can get a bit confusing. Now, I've chosen a dwarf tree. This is actually a dwarf mulberry, and it'll sit in the middle of this pot. If you've got really big plants, then you need a heavier duty pot. But this lightweight fibre cement is perfect for this. And around the outside edge, I'm going to plant a whole bunch of beautiful herbs, things that I can, well, put this next to a barbecue and pick and throw fresh onto food to get the best possible flavours. The first task is to centre this dwarf mulberry right in the middle of the pot. And then I've got a few high flavoured herbs to add, rosemary being one. Lamb chops on the barbecue without rosemary just isn't a great barbecue. What makes this particular rosemary so good is it grows these big, long stems. So they'll get about this long, then you cut them off. You drill holes in cubes of lamb and you literally skewer the lamb. Now, as it cooks, the flavours come out of the foliage and also the stem into the lamb. You end up with the most delicious food possible. And having this right next to the barbecue is a brilliant way to go. Once you've planted your herbs up, it's important to water them in thoroughly, and a dose of seaweed extract does a lot of good at this point. You'll need to drive growth in your plants, and whilst the potting mix has a great supply of controlled release nutrients, you will need to supplement them after a month or so, as herbs are incredibly hungry, needing essential minerals and nutrients supplied regularly, ideally every 2 weeks, to ensure that the plants are as healthy as possible. Now, of course, the whole purpose of this is to be edible. Picking fresh mulberries off this dwarf mulberry tree will be fantastic. Being able to harvest the rosemary around barbecue time, absolutely perfect. But if you want to do something completely different, you could put an ornamental citrus in there. So a dwarf lemon, you're going to get some fruit, but it's just going to look fantastic in a large pot. And around the base, I'd be planting these. Now, these are beautiful geraniums, but they're very fragrant geranium varieties. There's peppermint, there's rose, and there's this one here. Now, this is particularly interesting. This is a citric type of geranium. Now, what I mean by that is it's very citrusy, very lemony in its flavours and smells. And the thing with this is it repels mosquitoes. So planting pots of these around the base of this would be a fantastic way to keep your entertaining areas free of mozzies and some of those pests that just annoy you when you're having a barbie. Lastly, with all herbs, the most important thing a person can do is harvest regularly. Even if you're not using them, it's important to cut growth, encouraging fresh new growth. Follow these steps and you'll have an incredibly productive pot garden.